presentations, John.
Thank you guys for allowing me to talk about our security department. You can go next slide if you would, Ray. So this will be our agenda, operation overview, organization, mission, our authority, our jurisdiction, service availability, staffing levels, annual service hours, and vehicle fleet. Jump right to the next one if you would. So topic one, basically what our organization is. So we're a proprietary private security operation, which is licensed and regulated by the California Bureau of Security and Investigative Services, which is otherwise known as BSIS. Our mission is to take a proactive service role in protecting the safety of persons and property within HVL through prevention, problem solving, policy and rule enforcement, and observing and reporting incidents to the appropriate government entity. As you can see from this graph in our year-to-date 2024, we have approximately 2.8 million vehicles that come through our gates throughout the year. So that includes members coming through the member lane, guest lanes. So we do service quite a few. As you can see, it's usually we average probably 1,000 to 4,000 cars per day. And then there's a breakdown at the bottom that shows how many member residents come through, where we had 61,131, which is 22% of our total. Preferred guests, we had 80,303, which is 28%. Temporary guests, which are called in guests or people that are placed on a guest list, 25,477 for 9%. And our vendor and others, which is 115,000, 41%. So our authorities that we are governed by is the Civil Code in the 4,000 et sec, Penal Code 854, Business and Professions Code 7574 et sec, Association governing documents, and policies and rules that are adopted by the Board of Directors. Our staffing levels currently have one Director of Public Safety, one Administrative Assistant, one Administrative Sergeant, 2 Patrol Sergeants, 8 Patrol Officers, and 11 gate attendants. Our annual service hours are 42,010 hours. That's 17,520 hours for the gate operations and 24,490 hours for our administration and patrol operations. We currently have 3 utility vehicles, and we usually go on an annual of about 75,000 miles. These are some of our members of our team. Archie's one of our patrol officers. Ruby is one of our patrol sergeants who has been here approximately 28 years. Margaret is the administrative sergeant, and Amanda Garola is our gate corporal. These are some of the projects that we do outreach to the community. We had a couple of years during the COVID, we reached out to Coyote Valley Elementary, where we provided kindergarten, first grade, and second grade Christmas gifts. We sponsor ourselves. We sponsor the Little League baseball team. So then, as far as our jurisdiction, it's within the geographic boundaries of Hidden Valley Lake Association. Our service availability for patrol assistance, we request everyone to call our 24-hour 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year dispatch number, the 987-3515, and for administrative assistance to call our 987-3138 number. Then we're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the security office. Services. So we currently access control 5 gates, which are monitored 24/7. We crime prevention through proactive patrolling of the association's privately owned and maintained roadways, our common areas, our common facilities, and our assets. Our policies and rules enforcement, we issue notice of violations for use of streets, parking, animal control, and various other rules and fines. We have automatic aid and response to emergency incidents, medical aids, fire and smoke, traffic collisions, etc. So the purpose of our security services department is to screen and restrict access to the community to only authorized persons. We enforce association policies and rules. We protect the association property and assets. We assist members and law enforcement agencies in preventing criminal activity within the community. We render assistance to members and guests that are in need, and we promote the safety of members and guests as they use the association streets, common areas, and facilities. So our organization, Hidden Valley Lake Association, is a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation under California law. It's covered by the Civil Code, the Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act, and the Corporations Code. Again, our security service is a proprietary security operation which is licensed and regulated by BSIS and mandated by HVLA's governing documents and operationally regulated by board policy and management directives. So our mission and jurisdiction, our mission is to take a proactive service role in protecting the safety of persons and property within HVL through crime prevention, problem solving, policy and rules enforcement, observing and reporting incidents to the appropriate government entities. And our jurisdiction, again, is within the geographic boundaries of Hidden Valley Lake. So what is our desired end state? Is to cultivate a true sense of community, preserve collective rights and interests of the homeowners, and safeguard property values and members' quality of life. And what are our progress towards our end states? We have three components, which is the ways, means, and values. Our ways is one, maintain 100% accountability of vehicle entries pursuant to policy and authorized exceptions, establish enforcement priorities, maintain flexible work schedules to ensure a high visibility deterrence, ensure timely response to complaints and calls for service, build partnerships by participating in community events and cooperating with public safety agencies, focus on quality and safety, and maximize use of technology. We exercise discretion and sound judgment consistent with authority and protect members' due process rights. And then our means, we need adequate funding and staffing, functional facilities and equipment, sensible operating directives and guidelines, and appropriate staff training consistent with our mission requirements. Our values, we trust unquestionable ethical standards, human dignity and fairness, openness, responsiveness, and excellence through leadership. And just a quick overview of our organizational chart. You see what we had described earlier. I do have part-time patrol officers as well and some part-time gate attendants. So our organizational chart, basically our chain of command is the board of directors, then the general manager, then myself, then our administrative assistant, our administrative sergeant, and the supervisors, the patrol sergeants, and then to the gate attendants and the patrol officers. So administrative support roles. So basically what my position entails is to recruit, interview, hire, train, guide, coach, evaluate, and discipline employees. I prepare operating budgets, approve expenditures, and monitor financial performance for departments 20 and 25, coordinate and implement reserve fund projects, develop and implement staff education and training programs, develop and implement staff performance expectations and standards, develop vehicle, equipment, and facility maintenance programs, develop and implement member education, enforcement, and public safety programs, develop and assess and update departmental operating directives and guidelines, oversee investigations and follow up to internal and external complaints, serve as a liaison to the standing committees, which is our Safety and Security Committee, coordinate with governmental agencies, public officials, and community groups, and prepare written reports and give oral presentations. Our administrative sergeant, she prepares and maintains department work schedules. She oversees vehicle, uniform, equipment, facility maintenance, and department safety programs. She oversees computer, software, camera systems in coordination with John from IT. She reviews case reports, prepares evidence for public agencies or Hidden Valley Lake Association hearings, IDRs, and represents the department at IDR proceedings. She coordinates staff training, and she prepares and submits briefs, reports, and stats to the director. Our patrol sergeants, who serve as officers in charge while on their shift, they monitor patrol and gate operations for performance. They guide, coach, counsel, and evaluate gate attendants and patrol officers. They conduct in-service training sessions. They submit recommendations and briefs and reports to the director, and they call in staff to cover open shifts. Excuse me. So again, our authority. So the bodies of law, we're California Penal Code 834 et sec, involving private person arrests and aid to peace officers subject to organization and department policies. We're covered under the Business and Professions Code, which is the Proprietary Security Services Act, the California Civil Code under the Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act, Association governing documents, which bylaws and covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Our policies adopted by the Board of Directors, which examples include, but are not limited to, the Association Rules Enforcement Policy, Association Rules and Fine Schedule, the Community Access Policies, EC Procedures, Architectural Review Standards, Association IDR Policy and IDR Administrative Procedures, and Department General Orders, Operating Directives, and Standard Operating Guidelines. So to continue with our exercise of power, agents of the owner, which is the Hidden Valley Lake Association, were pursuant to adopted policies and procedures. They're only allowed to exercise powers when they're on duty on official business within HVLA jurisdiction. Exercise of powers while off duty or outside jurisdiction is strictly prohibited. Limits of authority. Employees are not peace or public officers. Employees do not possess the authority to enforce state, county, and local codes or ordinances. Employees are not trained or authorized to conduct field sobriety tests or breathalyzers on person under the reasonable suspicion of impairment. Department patrol vehicles do not qualify as authorized emergency vehicles, and employees are not permitted to carry firearms or batons while on duty. California case law provides for other limitations. So acceptable options or alternatives, which is an informal resolution. So our officers are trained to education of the offender, mediation. We use courtesy placards, verbal warnings, or courtesy notices, informing a responsible party at another agency or organization, advising a parent of a juvenile's activity. Formal resolution is citations with fines. Reasonable if a hazard to the community, victim, or suspect exists. Most likely to provide a long-term solution to the presenting problem. Referrals or turnovers to outside agencies. So our patrol operations, what their list of priorities are, which is emergency services. We respond to alarms, crimes in progress, medical aids, traffic and collisions, which include vehicles versus the gate. Also, any type of traffic collision that's within our boundaries. Outside agency assists. We had one yesterday where CHP called us to respond to a traffic accident that occurred on Stinson, and then also to assist if there's an officer in trouble. Dispatch calls for service and non-emergency, which is our policy and rule violations. Outside agency assists, welfare checks, key service, cold crime reports, gate malfunctions, suspicious circumstances, which could be persons, vehicles, or activities, and general complaints. We give meal and rest breaks to the gate attendants. We have fixed tasks, which are facilities open and closing, which is key service, and money bag deliveries. We have fixed tasks, which are periodic or variable, which are facility checks and walkthroughs. We have signed tasks, which are vacation, house, welfare checks, extra patrol checks, hand deliveries, which are proofs of service, targeted enforcement programs, proactive policy and rule enforcement, which is traffic, parking, etc., and other duties as determined by the director. So this is basically what we try to establish is our level of response time. So if it's an emergency, we try to get to wherever the emergency is, especially if it's human safety, between 5 and 7 minutes. If it's an emergency call, which is another, we try to be there within 10 minutes or less. Other dispatch calls for service, we try to get there between 15 minutes or less. HVL facilities patrol as required, traffic enforcement, neighborhood patrol, routine follow-ups as required, and other programs and network services as required. And then just to give an idea of our gate operations, we ask them to answer all telephone calls within 3 rings. Southgate, which is the one at Mount Meadow North and Hartman, is extremely busy, so they have a little bit of a leeway on theirs. We perform 100% ID checks and timestamp all visitor lane entries. We encourage members in good standing to obtain free barcodes and use the barcode lane. Dispatch, which is our North Gate, which is up at Spruce Grove and Deer Hill, their priorities when is the radio communication and emergency scanner traffic. So there's times when people are sitting at the window and they're wondering, why am I not being helped? Why am I not being helped? They're either dispatching a call to one of the patrol officers, taking an emergency phone call, could be a number of things. They're also working the remote gate that's across from them at that time. They're then there to answer their telephone calls for service, then the barcode lane, visitor lane traffic, and then other duties. So our operational goals for 2026 and objectives, we have 100% accountability for visitor lane entries, which is to check IDs and timestamp all entries, maintain proactive physical checks of common areas and facilities each shift. We conduct officer-initiated proactive violation contacts each shift, achieving a ratio of 1 contact for every 10 hours worked. Conduct officer-initiated proactive public relation contacts each shift, achieving a ratio of 1 contact for every 10 hours, which could be getting out to just to talk to someone, see how their day's going, things like that. We respond to all non-emergency calls for service within 15 minutes or less. 50% increase in enforcement contacts related to Rule 3.02, which is speeding, and Rule 3.04 violations, which are the failure to obey traffic control devices. We want to get down to a 33% increase in enforcement contacts related to parking and 25% decrease in property crimes. So in conclusion, we do amenity checks, which is every amenity that's within the association. This is throughout the course of 1 year. We perform checks in excess of 23,500 times. We have residential and wildland fires. Since we have an MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding with CAL FIRE, we're usually first on scene. Our patrol vehicles carry McLeod firefighting tools, water cannons, and chemical extinguishers. We have been recognized and praised by CAL FIRE personnel for assisting with fires by either keeping the fires small by stopping forward progress or extinguishing the fires altogether. Our patrol officers are certified in basic life-saving, CPR, and AED use and respond to most medical calls for service. Traffic and rules enforcement, our officers are trained and certified in using the radar, and we perform traffic stop for rule violations related to speeding, stop sign violations, unsafe operation, etc. Our vehicles are equipped with MAV units, which are mobile audio video recorders that document the violation. We also wear body-worn cameras that we use for all interactions with the public. So past officers, we've had several of our officers that work for our department go on to serve with the California Highway Patrol, Lake County Sheriff's Office, Lake County Probation Department, Roanoke Park Police Public Safety Department, Windsor Police Department, and Napa County Sheriff's Office. And I take great pride in that we're giving them a good first step into starting their career in law enforcement. So and I just want to say thank you for allowing me to speak about our Hidden Valley Lakes Security Services Department. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.